Okay, I'm back. Let me know how that sounds now, guys. Does that sound a lot better, guys? Hey, happy faces. How you doing? All right, AR, Sophie, if you'll please come back. Here is the link for AR and Sophie. Thank you, Marietta. I missed you. Yeah, I don't know what the problem was, guys. Okay, now where were we? White House and the MPD been looking for the murder weapon. Uh, do they think that they don't need it because they have all this supposed evidence? Or do they already have it and just not letting us not letting anybody know because of the gag order? Hey, Moonvale, what do you guys think? Do you think that they have it and they just not telling us because of the gag order? What do you guys think that is? Why haven't they started looking for it? Or do they already have it, guys? Hey there, brother.
What's going on, buddy?
Not too much, man. So
Can you?
what do you think the reason behind the they're not looking for the murder weapon? Do you think they already have it and just not telling us, or do you think they just think that they don't need it because of all the evidence that they supposedly have?
Well, I mean, the crazy thing is they never seem to have looked for it, except for possibly around, the home itself. So that
Yeah.
would tell me, because typically murder weapons are pretty darned important. It gives me two thought processes in regards to all of it. One being they either already have what they feel is the murder weapon in the home and they just haven't disclosed that. Or two, there's more than one and they found more than one. They just maybe haven't found the knife, but they found other items that have been used as well. So there's a good chance that without them looking for it, in the eyes that we've been able to use for what we see, there's got to be a reason behind that. There's got to be a big reason behind that, and maybe you're right. Maybe they do feel they have enough evidence because if you listen to yesterday's hearing, they have the judge believing that between November 13th and December 29th, when the arrest happened, they already had enough information for the arrest warrant without even having to use the DNA. So that's a pretty important statement right there. Doesn't mean that he's guilty because there's many other things that are being said, but it could mean that the weapon was never in his hand either.
right?
That's a very good possibility. I haven't thought about that before. And then you have them setting up for May 14th the hearing to change venues, and the only place I can think they could move the trial to is Boise, like they did with Chad Daybell.
Well, they're
Well, yeah,
gonna definitely have to move. They're gonna have to move it out of wherever the hell it's at. There's no doubt about that. And I don't say that just in the sense for the jury pool and all of that, but it's just gonna be such a bad collection of people that want to go up and bombard this, trial by watching it. You may have protesters. You may have people on the family side. They're
Yeah,
there and upset. It's going to be far out of the hands of what Moscow, Idaho is capable of handling. So hopefully they move it. Hopefully they do.
yeah,
yeah, that's
I agree completely.
that's a very very good point. Um, Now, watch the trial. I watched the hearing yesterday, and Ann Taylor. It seems adamant that she's not going to be ready by March of next year.
Yeah, there's absolutely no possible way. I'm sure just even between the three of us that are here on, the chat right now, we all can see the reasoning why they wouldn't be ready. I mean, first of all, they haven't even got all of the most important discovery as of yet.
Right.
So it
Yeah,
wouldn't even matter if this guy's guilty or not. They don't have a way to defend him because they haven't got all the evidence.
Right. Which is
You
crazy
know,
still. Like the way she describes it, like your video too, the 10,000 decks of cards or whatever. It sounds like they gave
right.
her a box of puzzle pieces.
Well, and that's what's the scariest thing about it. Coming from an individual, and it's one of my biggest things that I focus on. And I believe that's why a lot of people actually, do watch my channel because I don't engage all the time in all the different theories of what possibly happened. I look at the justice system itself and
Right.
I point out what I believe is the biggest issues to our rights as normal everyday individuals that walk amongst society. We all try to live a good life, but every once in a while we make mistakes. We all do. And do
Yeah.
you think that our society should be law enforced or judged in the way that we're watching right now at this trial?
No.
Is this the way it should happen? Like, the most important evidence doesn't even need to be prepared or ready for you to sit in jail for almost 2 years. By the time this goes to trial, he'll have been in there over 2 years. And you're telling me they haven't got the cast report or the data from the car yet? That only takes a few weeks to get that. If anything, it will take a half of a year, 6 months.
Why
But
do you
now you
think
want
that
to.
they don't have that? Why, that's crazy sounding. Like, do you think they have it and it's just in the gag order?
No, I believe that the reason why it has not been given to the defense with indiscoverable evidence is not because the prosecution hasn't seen it or because they haven't received it. It's because it does not fully 100% paint the picture that they want to paint. So they've withheld that for right now for more experts to come in to see if they could build a stronger portion of the cast or if they could do more testing or if they could legitimately just at the end of the day even figure out where his cell phone was because
Right.
they most likely have a cast report that is showing certain details that are adding up to him just driving around,
Right.
but it hasn't added up to him in the 12 or 13 times he stalked that home or he drove that route or did all of that. You have to understand, you have to line that entire narrative that they're trying to make, which isn't just the night of the crime. You're talking about 12 to 13 other times it was at the crime scene
Right.
on the additional side of when was he stalking, when was he hunting, when did he possibly connect to the homes, what all these things that are being stated publicly, they have to fit that narrative. And I don't believe that cast report's coming back to give a finalized picture that meets that. So they're afraid to make that discoverable. And the sad thing about it is, even if they don't want to use that in trial, if that's not what they're going to bank their entire case at trial on, and they're not going to put up that as a portion of the prosecution of Brian Cover, the defense still has to have that, because that could be key to building their actual defense for the trial.
Right.
So it doesn't matter whether you don't have to use it, but the defense might.
Right. That's what I was thinking too.
See, what's weird is I watched the Steve G interview. It was the 1 year anniversary that we broke down this past Monday, and in the interview, he said he has seen the cast report.
Well, we all know that to be false because of the fact even the defense hasn't seen it. So there would be no possible way that anybody would show the Gonsalves that cast report, because if they've seen it, the defense could raise their hand and say, hold on a minute, wait a minute. There's a gag order here, and we have to have that evidence as a discovery to build our case, and we're being told you don't have it yet, and that's why it's not discoverable. So why in the hell would this man over here be able to see it? Much less, if he did see it, why is he even able to speak upon being able to see it? He's not under a gag order, and that's why he's able to speak. And that's more, even though I pick it apart and I don't fully agree with things he says, he has every right to do it. He's not under a gag order. So allow him to do whatever he feels like he needs to do as a grieving father or whatever it might be. More power to you. But don't step up to the plate and BS people with stuff that literally gets into people's head. And typically it's the guilters. It gets into their head, and now there's another piece of why Brian Koberger's guilty is because, hey, he's seen the cast report and it fits the narrative. Well, now that gets everywhere, and it's not true. It's not true. So people need to take a step back and realize most of this is not true.
Do you think it's ineptitude of the police department? Like maybe they haven't even finished this cast report?
Well, the cast report's going to come actually from the FBI, because I don't believe the Moscow department has the tools or the capabilities to actually conduct that report. I believe that they did the initial investigation and getting the phone number. They got the warrants and they got all that stuff sent out. But I believe at that point, they referred that over to the FBI, just kind of like how the FBI is handling the actual car investigation. They're handling the cameras. They're handling quite a bit. And if you've noticed, it's all that quite a bit that hasn't come back yet. Most of what has not come back yet is FBI based.
Do you think there's more than 51 or 52 gigs of data then? Is that what you're saying?
No, what I honestly think is the 51 terabytes that were turned over by the prosecution. Yeah, that they got delivered by the prosecution immediately via the whole discoverable evidence is just a bunch of garbage. They know it is, but they did that to make the defense feel as though they get this lump sum of evidence. Now they got to dig through it. And they're separating out of that. And that's kind of what they explained. You handed us over 52 card shuffle using 1,000 decks that just flew through the air. We're supposed to pick a card here and a card there out of this and try to make sense of it, when legitimately we've asked you time and time again to furnish us with the most important beginning steps of this investigation. Give us the cast report. Give us the vehicle data box information. We can begin right there, because if you listen to everybody screaming when it comes down to the alibi situation, which is all. I'm going to do a video on that. Hopefully, it kind of again reiterates to people the non-importance of this whole alibi discussion that's even happening, because even
All
the
right.
judge
Agreed.
yesterday,
Agreed.
you know, the
Yeah, agree.
judge yesterday didn't even know, like, oh shit, I thought we already handled that. We haven't even handled that yet because it's not that important.
Yeah,
But
yeah, since
go ahead, Robert.
you
I'm
know,
sorry.
and and and, and just like what Ann Taylor said yesterday is when he waived his right to a speedy trial, all the deadlines, including the alibi deadline, was null and void. But you see, what I can't
Correct.
figure out is why she was saying that they need the cast report to help him finish his alibi. So, because she gives the cast report to their experts, and they can help him finish his alibi. The way I see it is, why do you need the cast report to help finish the alibi unless they're going to try to fabricate an alibi around the cast report?
No, and it's a good question, Robert, but it's actually very explainable. It's very able to be explained. When the defense went at the prosecution, because the prosecution said, we want this alibi, we want it. They said, okay, well, what we're telling you right now is our client's alibi is he was out driving through the night. So the reason why they want that cast report is because their very next statement they made was, we're not using this portion of the alibi, the driving at the night, we're not using that as our actual specific defense to these charges. But what we are going to do is utilize your experts, the very people that the prosecution hired, and put onto doing all of the cast report data, figuring out what towers was he on. They're going to utilize that to build his trajectory of motion. Where was he driving? And then they're going to come back and they're going to say, okay, look, prosecution, your own experts have just shown this whole detailed path from the cast report of where our client was driving. So now what we need you to do is the prosecution, because the burden of proof is on you. Prove that between 4:08 and 4:17, he had a knife in his hand and was in that home committing the crime, compared to being on X Street within the cast report driving 3 miles away. Show us the proof, because we've already said he's driving. We've already claimed he's out in that area. He's driving. Now prove, utilizing your cast report, that he wasn't driving, that he was actually stopped with a knife in his hand committing this crime.
Yeah, see, and just like like Steve G, when he did that interview for Fox News, and he made the statement, the injury patterns just don't match. Could there be multiple weapons involved, like say a hatchet, a machete? Because that kind of caught me when he said the injury patterns don't match. And yeah, Kaylee got the most brutal part of it. Could there have been like a machete besides a K-bar? Possibly, could there have been a machete involved, an axe involved, a hatchet, a golf club? Could any of those things been involved with that injury pattern not matching?
And that's a great question, Sophie. I don't want to cut you out of the conversation. I'd love to hear your thoughts, and then maybe I can respond after you do, and that way we're all engaged here. Love to hear you.
You too. I thought it was interesting because I was thinking, like, people were talking about the axes that you throw, and I've never gone to do that, but I have seen I've seen it in the window. So to me, it looks like it's like you're a smallish axe, anyways. But I think that like an axe head probably weighs 3 or 4 pounds, probably. And I don't know if you could swing an axe in that room upstairs. So I think that cuts it out for me of there being some sort of axe involved, because those rooms are so small that I don't think you could like swing an axe. And I think the cutting the fingers off thing would be defensive wounds, like grabbing the knife and like trying to stop them from being stabbed. If that
Hmm.
sounds
I
possible. Those are two
no,
of my thoughts.
I agree with both of those statements, heart and soul. In my opinion, when you talk about weapons that could possibly have been used outside of what's been deemed the main weapon of the K-bar knife, which we don't even know if it's a K-bar or not. Let's just assume that they're right, and it is. It's a
Right.
K-bar knife. But you have to think about outside of the box and the things the prosecution wouldn't release, that anything within that home could be utilized as some sort of weapon, even if it's a lamp, whether it's a chair, whatever it might be, could be just picked up randomly as you're moving your way through the house. And I personally feel if you go the one route, you can go one route. You could say, okay, if this was a person that entered this home with a single individual in their sights, they probably would just come in with one weapon. But then again, anything within the home could become a weapon. And we've seen plenty of pictures of machetes and other weapons within that home, whether it be the people that resided there or people that frequented there from parties. So you don't know what was just laying around the home.
True. True.
I mean, there could have been a second and a third K-bar knife just laid in the kitchen that someone would pick up on their way in. Like, oh, look, I found this. Or if you've got finished with one part, which would be upstairs, and you came downstairs, you could potentially pick up what you might find in a living room or wherever and have a second weapon. I think a golf club could very much be used. If you're walking by and you're in a struggle and you just are able to reach out, grab a golf club, and hit somebody, it makes sense.
Sure.
I mean, there's a lot that could go into that. And they were looking in that upstairs living room area at things very hard. And I don't believe, there's much more outside what they could have possibly been looking at other than a body that wasn't in one of the bedrooms like they claimed it was. Maybe someone fell and lost their lives in that living room or hallway area. Or there's potentially evidence laying on the floor, which would be a dropped weapon, a torn face mask. Something is there that even forensics had to deal with. So that's interesting. It's very interesting.
What do you think, Robert?
Yeah, I have to agree with AR because because of this gag order, which took place in I believe January 2nd of this year. No, not this year, of last year, 2023. Whatever they find, we're not going to know until the trial. And just like that 51 terabytes of data, we don't know what's on it because they're not allowed to tell us. We don't know if it's because just like yesterday, when the judge asked Ann Taylor, "Are you talking about the video of the car?" and she says, "No, I'm not talking about the video of the car. I'm talking about this, this, and this." And
Right.
it seemed like to me that the judge was kind of amused with everything that she was saying, like he was mentally agreeing with everything the prosecution said, because the prosecution's adamant they do not want the trial moved out of Latah County. They think that they can get a clean jury pool because you heard Bill Thompson say that yesterday. And I know he wants to bring farmers in as jurors that don't have cable TV, don't have this, don't have that. Well, a lot of farmers are tech savvy. And they do have cable TV. They have a lot of stuff that we have. But there's one thing that Bill Thompson's not counting on is the farmers are going to want to see the physical house. They're not going to, because they're going to like hear a dog bark. They're going to hear creaks in the house. They're going to want to see exactly where this person looked in the window at. They're going to want to see the physical house, not a 3D rendering. What do you guys think about that? And chat, what do you guys think about that?
I
Well,
think
even
that.
more importantly, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. Go ahead.
I was just thinking, like, that's kind of a funny statement in and of itself, just because if there was somebody murdered in that area and you're talking about like a town of less than 50,000 people, it doesn't matter what you do for a living. You know what happened. People were murdered there, and you didn't somehow escape the town discussing that like four people were murdered in your town.
Yeah, and I just to kind of add to that, just in regards to the actual change of venue, and it's very correct what you just said. It doesn't matter legitimately what we're going to do in Moscow, Idaho. People know about this crime, and if they don't even know the specifics of the crime, they've seen the tourists and all the interaction of people coming in filming where that house was and trying to talk to people. So it's out there, no matter whether you follow the case or not. It's out there of how high profile this is. So legitimately, I've been through the change of venue process, and there's never been a time where the prosecution did not throw a massive fit. The judge did not put his foot down saying, we're not moving this, we're going to go to trial. And then legitimately the change of venue happens and everything gets moved and it's like back to normal at that point. They just have to showcase that they don't feel like it needs to be moved, but it will be. This case is going to have a change of venue. There's no doubt about that.
Right?
And then, it's just going to happen. And sadly, when you're doing a jury pool, and you can't bank on what type of jury you're going to actually get because you send out the surveys. You don't get to physically see the person or engage them until they come in for the jury selection process. So you may have a handful of 100 people that you said, okay, these sound good. We have their surveys, let's bring them in. Then they get there, and you got an 18-year-old, and then you got a 75-year-old retired farmer. And a lot of people say, well, the retired farmer is going to want to see the house, not some 3D scan. Yeah, and that retired farmer is going to want to see the murder weapon, the bloody clothes, and pure evidence that shows him in out that home committing the crime, because they're very detailed to. I want to see it. I want proof of it. Where that younger individual can piece things together based off the fact they know what social media is all about. They play video games. They got the more open electronical mind. So when they put on those little binoculars to look at the 3D scan, they literally think they're looking at a video game, and it makes sense to them. Me, I can't look at a video game and make any sense of that crap because it doesn't matter to me.
Right.
So it's, that doesn't make. I want to I want to go see that crime scene. I want to walk through it, especially being an ex-convict. I want to see, could I, in my mind, think that this could actually happen based off of what I'm seeing, feeling, what's right here, the atmosphere, the noise in the trees. How did the dog bark sound? How does the chirping of bird? Because all that matters to me. Where other people are like, noise doesn't carry anyway. Who cares?
We got a
Who
question
cares?
on the screen.
What?
We got a question on the screen. How do you frame someone for murder, then destroy the only evidence you have?
Well, that's a hard question to answer because first you have to say, when I get the question, how do you frame someone for murder, but then destroy the only evidence you have. You have to clarify to me what's the only evidence you have that they destroyed. because I don't know. I know they destroyed the house. They took the house down, but that
That
evidence
could be
isn't
what
gone.
he's stating. Yeah, yeah, he could be stating the house,
Eh,
Oh, gotcha.
because
eh,
they did destroy the house. Which, I mean, I do have to agree with Steve G on this. They should have left the house there till after the trial, because he was afraid that the house being gone could hinder the trial and possibly bring either a hung jury or a mistrial or a not guilty verdict. And and then Mr. Scott Green announced that they're going to be putting low income or affordable housing in the exact same spot where the house was. And why would he want to put something right where the house was so soon? Is it
Right?
is it money? Possibly, is because he thinks, oh, it's going to be low income housing for students or affordable housing for students. Hey, we can get more money out of that plot of land by building more apartments or another house. If I see another 3-story house go up in that same spot, I'm going to be pissed. Ar.
yeah, yeah, yeah. The zoning commission with all of this isn't going to let another home like that go up. I'll be very honest with you, because of the fact this was a home that was given over to the university and then torn down. They're not going to allow them to build something that's not going to be beneficial to the university in some manner. And I don't think they'll deem another 3-story home for a sorority house as being beneficial. But outside of that, we do have to be careful, because I understand how important to many of us that house is, and even how important to the victim's family they feel that house is. So we know it's credible evidence and it should not have been torn down. But we have to also understand there's a great possibility that's not the only evidence that they have. They're banking on the cast report. They're going to bank on the video of the car driving around. There's many other things that they're banking on as the prime evidence of the case. And I don't feel as though they viewed the house as a part of that, unfortunately. We'll see what happens, because if there is a hung jury, if there is a mistrial, they sure can't go back to the crime scene and try to piece together another crime or another person that committed the crime, because they've blown all that now. So they it's gonna be very difficult. It's gonna be interesting to watch how they play this out, because not long ago they were sure deemed to have said they were ready to go to trial this summer. They had everything ready to go, and then
Right.
yesterday they said they wouldn't even have all the evidence back until the end of August, if not later. So what the hell were you gonna do if the judge had set a trial? If the defense had said, "Yep, we're ready to go. Let's do it this summer in June,"
Right.
and the prosecution couldn't even get the cast report or the data box for the car back before that, that means they couldn't use it in trial. So now what are you going to use? Where are we going now? Like, what are you going to use? I mean,
Right.
Right.
come on. These
I know.
games got to stop already. Just stop
Yeah.
with the games. Step up to the plate and say, hey, look, there's so much evidence. There's so much investigation that we have to do. There's so much evidence we're still trying to collect. We got to kind of slow the pace down on this. And maybe we even need to say this guy should have a bail, and if he can post it, great, he can get out. If not, then he's got to stay. But we got to start open up the fairness of what's going on here, not just make him sit here when we don't even have the evidence back.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. I
You know,
know.
so
And what I can't figure out is, the video I just watched over at Tommy's, and much love to Once Upon a Crime Time. This whole, leaving the door open for DoorDash. Yeah, if Xana was alive at the time of the DoorDash, wouldn't DoorDash say, "Hey, we're here," and then Xana goes outside to get the DoorDash? Why leave the front door open so you can drop the DoorDash off in the house. That's what I don't get.
Maybe
Well,
that's
no,
the thing. Maybe that's where they have their DoorDash dropped off.
DoorDash has to be at the front door. They have front door delivery. I learned this by my wife. I have no idea. Like, I don't even know how to order it or enter the debit card or anything in to get this stuff. I'm like, honey, I want DoorDash. Do whatever you gotta do, make the magic happen, and then it shows up. But I do know just from conversation with her that you're allowed to give them like drop off
Yep, yep,
instructions,
yep.
but they're
Yeah.
never allowed to actually go through a door. They can't enter to anything unless it's like a hotel, but they still have to leave it at your door. So I don't think even if someone left the front door open that they would be allowed to come in. They could drop it inside the door maybe, but I don't
Yeah.
think they could actually come physically into that house. If they did, they better damn well be suspects. Let me tell you, they better have been investigated.
Yeah, no kidding.
See,
I
I want to
think.
hear your
Because
yeah, I want to hear your opinion on this, AR. Just like the private driver, uh, instead of waiting to see the girls go in the house, he just dropped it. He just dropped them off and then took off. Yeah. See, I drive for Uber Eats, and I do a couple of like Ubers once in a while, and I'll always wait until the customer reaches the door, and then make sure that I make sure that they get inside. But this ride share driver just dropped him off and took off. So anything could have happened from the time they got out of the car, and then him turning around and taking off. Is that a fair guesstimation, AR?
I've always utilized it. Sounds like you do it as well, and I'm sure everybody would agree. It's common courtesy that when you pull up to the front door and you drop someone off, you wait till they get to their front door, and that door
Right.
begins to open and they're stepping into it. That's common courtesy to make sure someone gets home and gets
Yeah.
home safely. Especially females being dropped off. If I'm a male and I'm dropping off females, I'm always going to make sure they get in the door and that door closes, because I know if something happens to them and I'm the one that dropped them off, I'm male, I'm prime suspect number one. They're
Right.
coming to
Yeah, no
talk to
kidding.
me, So I believe that. Now, where I would like to know is, how do we get the confirmed 100% truth to the matter that he did leave prior to them going? I mean, we need to visually be able to see what happened, and hopefully, in all of the grand video that they supposedly have, they could showcase that too. Because if you can't show me the driver leaving the scene after those females are in the door of their home and it's closed and he drives away, he's still a suspect in my mind. I'm
Right.
sorry, he just is.
Yeah,
Agreed.
and I agree with you, AR. Just like that red Mustang that they found, that smelled of bleach. And if you look at the grub truck video, you can see what looks like a red Mustang pulling up next to the grub truck, and the girls head towards that red Mustang. Could that have been their rideshare driver? And if it was, uh, why did they find it abandoned and it reeked of bleach?
That's always going to be great questioning, and until we get more confirmation on, did they look into it, what type of investigation was done on that car? Because remember, I've always been the one that stated, we see within the PCA the statement suspect vehicle number one.
Right.
Then you
Yes.
refer back to the press conferences when they say, we are looking for the occupants of a vehicle. That means
Mm-hmm.
there's more than one person that they wanted to talk to. Who knows why
Yes.
they wanted to talk to them, whether they were actual suspects or not. They obviously stated they were looking to talk to far more than one person. It could have been
True.
5. It could have been 10. Who the hell knows? Now, does that mean there were also other vehicles that they need to be looking at? Is there a red Mustang involved in this? Is there a big black truck involved in this? Is there an
Right.
SUV involved in this? Because at some point, I want to see what lines up with vehicle suspect number one. Is there a two? Is there a three? Is there a four? And I want to know what type of investigation was done on each and what was the conclusion for that investigation. And what evidence do you have for that conclusion?
Yeah, and see, like last night, I went through and I watched the unaltered Linda Lane from like it was from like from 5 a.m. to 6 a.m. I didn't watch it, from like the 1 to 4 o'clock hour. I watched it from the five a.m. to six from 5 a.m. to 6 a.m. hour, and I noticed something. Ar at about 5:43, you could see this, you could see this car creep through really slow, and it morphed when it got halfway across the screen. It morphed from the undercover cop car to the body styling of the Elantra. Yeah, and I thought to myself, could this entire video be altered? Yeah, because
And that's,
yeah, because I
let
as
me
it's
tell
going
you,
along,
that's
yeah.
yeah,
Go
you
ahead.
have to be careful with that because unfortunately in today's society,
Yeah,
video and also audio is easily corruptible. It's easily manipulated,
It's
but
frightening.
what you what you got to really kind of focus on and kind of think it through with me real quick. We see a
okay.
video of Maddie, Kaylee, and Jackass walking towards the grub truck or maybe leaving the
Yeah,
grub truck, one of the two, and you see the big white truck in the background pull in kind
yeah,
of awkwardly and park.
yeah.
There's a vehicle of interest in my mind. There's a vehicle of
Oh,
interest. I'm not saying it's
oh, same
involved,
here.
but I'm interested in knowing what did that vehicle's occupant see that was around in the area? Anything weird? Anybody watching anybody? Any
Mhm.
weird cars driving by? But even more so, that truck matches up to somebody that I feel as though could be very important to the case, right?
Yeah.
Kopaka. Okay, Kopaka owned a truck just like that.
Oh, the
So
big
was
black
he in
truck.
the area?
That's what kind of
No,
truck he had. I didn't know what his
no.
vehicle was.
The four-door white truck is just
Oh,
like
okay,
Kopaka's truck.
okay,
Okay, so
okay.
that's early. Now we come to the Banfield footage, and you
Yes.
see a car going one direction that is not, and I'm going to tell you right now, it's not Brian Koberger's car. It is not. But whose car I think that is actually Dylan Mortensen's friend from Boise. I can't remember her exact name right now. It's a young lady that drives a car similar to Brian Koberger's car, but it's a little bit different. It's a different make.
They all look
But
the same.
also the black truck that's passing at the very same time
Hmm.
looks exact to Quinn Kelly, Dylan Mortensen's boyfriend's truck, passing each other. Okay. Now, what's so key about that is just a short time later, Quinn Mortensen does one of the
You mean Quinn Kelly?
oddest. Yeah, Queen Kelly. I'm sorry. Queen Kelly does one of the oddest little videos on the social media platform, jumping up and down that he's sitting at his apartment in Boise or wherever he was at, not near the crime scene. You got to remember, this is hours before the bodies were found, and
Ooh,
it's
really?
legitimately right around the time the crime happened. So is he over there jumping up and down saying, "Hey, I'm not involved. I'm not involved," to cover his own ass when he actually knows who is involved, but he wants out of that mix. Like, here's my alibi right here. I'm on camera. Look at me.
Right.
Look at me. Why would you
Yeah.
have to do that? If you didn't know or think something was happening, which is you got to put two and two together here because victim that is, well, the victim in some people's mind is the eyewitness to the actual crime.
Right. Right.
And
Oh my
he's
God.
over here jumping up and down saying, hey, look at me. I'm not there. I'm not there. I'm over here.
You
Come
opened a
on.
whole other rabbit hole, AR.
Yeah, you
What's
did.
that?
You did,
What?
brother.
No, yeah, I trust me. Guys, I sit in the dark and I let my mind run crazy sometimes because I've been around this stuff.
Right.
My entirety of criminal history formulates into one big cesspool of organized crime. And many people out there, it's like you had to break it down for people for them to best understand what organized crime is. It's a
Right.
multitude of major crimes committed by a large amount of people, all orchestrated for one common goal. So each person has to do their part for the next person's to work. But the
Right.
bad thing about the reason why I got sentenced so hard and why they truly came after me is I organized it all. I was the leader. I was the guy that ran it, developed it, created the thoughts, created the things that had to happen. I built the game plans. And people, well, why is that so important? Well, that means I could sit in the dark and put my mind to work and start putting together the puzzle pieces of these types of crimes that, in my opinion, when you look at this crime, it's orchestrated. It's
Right.
orchestrated.
Oh
Right.
yeah,
This is
I
not,
believe it's
this
orchestrated.
is, yeah, this isn't one man that just kind of went off the deep end in the middle of the night and ran out and took the lives of four people.
Right. Agreed.
It's literally an organized situation.
Yeah, like
That's what it is.
earlier
It's organized.
earlier today, I saw it was a community post from True Crime Design, and she implicated Jesse James Bailey in this little community post. Now, see, personally, I don't know. I know you know the JJB AR.
I do.
Yeah,
Hmm.
I personally don't know him, but do you think he could be like, since he's like a high up shot caller? Do you think he could maybe put a hit out on the house because of all these rumors swirling that Maddie flushed $70,000 of drugs down the toilet, or there was another thing where she could have like took him out of the house and threw him away. And EB Emma or Bonnie, she was running in and out of that house constantly, as possibly either using it as a stash house or using it as to sell drugs out of. Do you think she could have went to Jesse and said, "Hey, this happened. I need something done about it." Do you think that could have possibly taken place, and maybe whoever did it was a hitman?
Whatever Jesse James Bailey said would have happened. If he felt as though something needed to happen and he made that call, it would have happened. And his ties that a lot of people aren't understanding too are within the prison system because he was a CO at the prison as well as his wife. All they
Wow.
have to do is intermingle within the penitentiary and talk to the affiliation leaders, spokespeople, and say, hey, look, I need this to happen, and I'm going to provide you with this, this, and this. You're going to get extensive extra money making goods delivered to the yard if this can get handled. Now, all you got to realize is at that point, somebody within the penitentiary that has say and pull sends a kite outside of the penitentiary, which a kite means I can send a quick letter that's never put in an envelope. It's actually hand delivered by somebody that comes in and out of the penitentiary on a daily basis. So it could never be caught up in the mail or searched or seen. Or two, I just go to my cell and pull out my cell phone and make a phone call. We all had cell phones. And for people that don't believe that, I can show you my prison record. I was caught with about, I think it was 2,200 of them on a yard that I was on.
How
So,
could you possibly
so
hid those? How did you hide those?
we've got every possible way you can imagine. I'm not going to give up all the tricks, but
Yeah,
you know,
don't do that.
I can tell you this. I went to the visitation room where you have to strip down and show them your clothes and everything
Uh-huh.
every weekend, and I had a cell phone in the sole of my shoe coming back from visitation every single day I went to visit. So
Whoa.
that tells you how easy it was for me to walk
Yeah,
in and out of there
that's a
with
good
a cell.
idea.
It was easy. It was easy. But
Yeah.
I'm going to give you guys a little bit. This is a tree that'll show you how things in the Idaho 4, in my opinion, this is my thoughts. If I were to look at it, because I know some of the players involved in this, not like I go sit down and have lunch and shake hands with them, but I know of them.
Right.
I know their
Right.
game. So if you want to know the very basics, if we're going for a narcotic, this was a drug ordeal situation. It's very easy to follow the players in this case. It would start on a very low level of what's considered to be the little bit of issuers from the house to the party kids, which would be Emma Bailey, and it would be people like Dylan Mortensen and even Bethany Funk. Okay,
Uh-huh.
those are the people that would just, oh, you're here to party. Here's a little bit of a party favor. That'll be $50. Just go ahead and Venmo me, do whatever. No big deal.
Right.
Then you've got the next level of people right above that, which are the people that handle the money that they make. It's not like their supplier, it's the people that just handle their money for them. And that would be people that's just a step above that looks down and just monitors everything. You would have a Hunter Johnson, then you would have someone that Demetrius Robinson has running right underneath him. Okay?
Right.
Not Demetrius, but a
Right.
person right below that. Then you have the collector of the money that's got to move the money up to the next person to get their hands on the next little bundle that's going to go back into the house after the week's worth of sales because they're going to up every Sunday night. You
Right.
have a full week that always ends on a Saturday because that's when the money transactions happen is Sunday morning with a laid back breakfast, lunch, whatever might happen for a new bundle to be delivered and put into the stock of the home.
Right.
Okay. So
Yeah.
now you have Demetrius. And why do I say Demetrius? Because he has the background that shows authority, meaning if you get out of line, I can put you into place. He has domestic violence charges and violent charges. Now that doesn't make him an anybody or anything special. It just shows that if you get a little out of line, he puts you quickly back in it because he needs the money from you to be able to reflip that back around to get you your new bundle. Otherwise, you don't get your new bundle. Does
Right.
that make sense?
Yeah.
Now money's really due because if you can't pay for that last bundle, you're not getting a new one, so you don't have a way to make the money to pay for the last one anyway. You better have it. And that's what Demetrius's job would be, is to ensure they have that money through having the dominance of not only the females he interacts with, which would be Emma Bailey, which is very clear. She's in and out of that home. You
Right.
see her leaving, and she's friends with Dylan. So
Right.
there's that connection. Now,
What do
the
you
person that would go ahead.
go
I'm
ahead?
sorry.
No, I was going to say, what do you think the chance? Because I am under the impression that Demetrius lives like right behind the house, so or
Yeah,
close. So, what's
yeah,
the
you've
odds?
got to.
How many hours do you think it would take to get drugs out of the spare room downstairs and then refill it with shit to make it look like without going around bodies and without contaminating any of that evidence and change it out so it looked like that was just a storage room, but it was
Yeah,
really
there was a lot more than just drug cleanup if that was going on. You're moving a lot more than that. You're moving evidence of connections between people. You're
right.
switching out cell phones. Because let me tell you, the people that are in these games, someone like a Dylan, and this is going to be very key to see how intelligent investigation is within this case. They didn't just have their one cell phone, they rotate cell phones. And that's
Uh-huh.
done on purpose. We've all always done that. You rotate cell phones to keep people thrown off your path. And the person that would be in charge of that would be Demetrius. So, he's going to be the one that oversees Emma Bailey, who's going to be the connection to Dylan, who's then going to be kind of the watchers of the people in the home and what's going on. But you still have to put into play. You had Kara, Xanda's mother, and you
Right.
had Maddie's stepmother, who both had not just like personal drug charges, they actually had distribution
Oh.
charges, meaning they
Oh.
were involved in the actual movement of drugs. So
Right.
that
Right.
plays a key. And where they would fit in is right at Demetrius's level, because they would be the ones who would take the money from Demetrius and they would go deliver that money to Quinn Kelly. And people would say, why would it go to Quinn Kelly? It's not about Quinn Kelly. He was learning from his dad. Quinn Kelly's dad is in the penitentiary in Idaho on
Oh, right by me.
numerous violent charges. Yeah, he's numerous violent charges, mainly abuse of women, but
Yeah.
he's also an affiliate member within organizations and a part of a prison affiliation. And where does that tie to? He's direct connection to Jesse James Bailey, who is the known big boy of Idaho. They all ever think of Idaho when it comes to distribution, guns, drugs, and violence. But where does he stand? He's the CO with his wife that runs a maximum security penitentiary in Idaho with the biggest of felons that is also a known white supremacist gang
Yeah.
affiliation member.
Oh yeah.
So
Oh yeah. We got a lot
I
of those.
recorded
there's
a video. I recorded my own video here a couple of days ago. I'm going to play it for you guys and tell me what you guys think. It's just me in front of the microphone. Yeah, I'm trying to do my own content now, AR.
none. And I appreciate that. Look, Robert, the more you dive into your own content and want to utilize other people's videos, I'll help you out full bore.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hold on.
You'll get it. There you go.
I got to get to my channel. I got quite a lot of views on it too.
Cool.
Got like 2,000 views on it.
Get more views than I do.
Dang, that's a lot of views. Yeah, AR, I've been watching your series. Are you doing another one? Or is 7 the end?
No, there's gonna be many more. I've got another one I'm actually working on tonight, and we'll keep on going. We got a long way to go.
Sure, sure.
Recordings.
And I appreciate you watching. That means a lot.
It's good stuff.
Hey, it's Jane from StreamYard. I'm so excited to announce that local.
Okay, say it.
Did you lose the video,
Welcome.
Robert?
No, I'm right here. You got it.
Welcome
Yeah.
to the True
Yeah.
Crime Cult. Enter at your own risk. Ha 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 ha. Here is the host of the show,
I like
leader
that.
of the True Crime Cult.
Hey, what's up, guys? I've been doing a lot of thinking over the last couple of days, and where the number 13 comes into everything with the Moscow, Idaho case and the Delphi case. And I was watching something earlier this morning that kind of clicked. What does November 13th, 1974 have to do with anything with the Moscow, Idaho case? And I've kind of thought on that for like the last couple hours. And then it kind of hit me. November 13th, 1974 was the date of the Amityville horrors. November 13th, 1974. And
Because
the
what
time of the
has to be
murder,
that day?
3 a.m. But often lost in this shuffle is the brutal crime that supposedly made the house haunted. The Amityville murders, the real life horror story, began on November 13th, 1974, when a 23-year-old man named Ronald DeFeo Jr. fatally shot his parents and his four younger siblings while they were asleep in their home in Amityville, New York. Ronald DeFeo Jr. shot and killed 6 members of his family at 112 Ocean Avenue, a large Dutch colonial house situated in the suburban neighborhood in Amityville on the south shore of Long Island, New York. He was convicted of second-degree murder in November 1975 and sentenced to 6 terms of 25 years to life in prison. Look at the correlation, guys. 112, 1122 King Road. And it just so happens the night of the murders at 1122 King Road was the 48th anniversary of the Amityville horror. Coincidence? I think not. What do you guys think? You guys think it's a coincidence?
I mean, it's odd, right?
Yeah, I think it's definitely fun to look at all the different numbers for that because that is definitely a coincidence. But I mean, are there coincidences? Who knows? Who knows? I mean, the date is for real the same day, right? That's frightening.
The date
Yeah,
and the date and the time. 3
yeah,
a.m.
and a lot of people look into that stuff, but you also got to look at the, uh, serial killer that was happening in Oregon. Did you know those were all happening at the same time of night, and it was the same course of method that was being utilized, and nobody ever felt like that was a part of anything tied to the Idaho 4 either. So I mean, it's like
Is that the guy on Highway 21?
that. Yeah, I believe so. And he got that husband and wife with a roommate in the house that was awake, and they never touched that. I mean, all the similarities line right up, and nobody ever looked at that one. Nobody
Right?
ever felt like that was a part of the crime. So
I
I don't
remember
know.
hearing about that. That's interesting because I think I feel like I saw that someplace, maybe Doc Thrifty video that tied that to Enon somehow.
Well, and what's funny is
Whoever,
y- yeah, when
go
Doc
ahead.
Thrifty, now Crime Lies and Videotape, was
Yeah.
first coming out, him and I actually talked behind the scenes for a little bit
Nice.
because he had the idea that Harsh was involved in that. And I was like, look at all these odd connections. And then we even looked at like a roadmap drive that it would take for Enon to get to like where those crimes are happening. Even if he's not the one that was doing it, we figured, could he know about it? Could he be the driver? Could there be anything odd about this? It was funny how close the actual vehicle always came to where the crimes were. So it was like, oh man, here's a coincidence. But this
Right?
whole case is full of them. Everything about this case, any way that you look at it, has a connection to something else. And that's what makes it so odd. Is nothing just lines up on its own. Everything's connected to something else. So you can dig all you want. You're just going to keep finding things that it looks like it's comparable to.
Yeah.
Or
It just becomes
did
of
this
the
heinous crime on November 13th, 19, uh, 2022, was trying to copycat Ronald DeFeo Jr. down to the time and down to the date. Because Ronald DeFeo Jr., who passed away in 2021,
oh,
killed his family at 3 a.m. What happened on November 13th, 2022? The Idaho students were killed in the early morning hours between 3 a.m. and 4:25 a.m. Was this a copycat of the DeFeo killing 48 years earlier? Or
or just
was this
somebody really
someone
twisted.
saying that they wanted to be like Ronald DeFeo Jr.? Because if you look at it, yes, 6 people died in the house on November 13th, 1974. The parents plus four, count them, four siblings. Exclude the parents from that, and you would have almost a mirror copycat of what happened November 13th, 2022 in Moscow, Idaho. Whoever did this horrendous crime must have been a copycat. They probably didn't know Ronnie DeFeo Jr. was dead. Or if they did, they probably did this horrific crime as a memorial to him on what he did 48 years earlier. The same date, the same time, and the house that he did it in was 112. Get the correlation there? 112 Ocean Drive,
Mhm.
112 22 King Road Drive. Is it sinking in yet? Go on.
Were you talking to me, Robert, or was that the video talking?
That was the video.
That was the video talking.
All right, I just wanted to make sure. Just wanted to make sure. Well, my headset was kind of just like clicking in and out, and I'm like, oh shit, I hope they're not talking to me.
No, I'm talking to you through the video.
Gotcha. It's a mental game. And Rock Chalk, it's great to see you in chat. Hope you're feeling well.
Yeah, it's good to see
Hey,
her.
Rock Chop.
She's upright.
Good to see you.
Driving.
Yep, good to see everybody in chat. Fallen, Bianca K, many of my favorite people, Micah Z. It's good to see the community come together for you, Robert. That this is definitely a great community for you.
Yes,
We love you,
Ronald
Robert.
DeFeo Jr.
I definitely appreciate a lot of these people. They definitely they're great minds, good people. They stand for what they believe in. They speak their minds, which is always important.
Yeah.
But they're also very caring. They stand up for people like you or I or any of us that are
And
willing
he
to get up here and
claims,
actually share our opinions.
yeah,
Yeah.
they're all good. They're all good people. I love them all. Mike is one of my mods. So is Rock Chalk. Bianca's a mod. Yeah, I love them all. And plus it doesn't hurt me and Rock Chalk live in the same town.
That's very true. And Jamie, it's great to see you as well. Yeah, you have some great
That
people. I'm just seeing
spirits
the
in the
names
house
pop up.
told him to do it.
Go ahead.
He claims that the house was possessed by demons, and the demons are the ones that told him to kill his family. That's his family. Yeah, my StreamYard was messing up that day. Those are the ones he brutally killed at 3:00 in the morning on November 13th, 1974. There's the house. I was trying to show the house. And it would, I was trying to show the house that day and it wouldn't let me.
Is this part of all the numerology stuff you were looking at too?
Who does he look like in the face? See what's weird is Ronnie DeFeo Jr.
Uh-huh.
He died August 2021. Then the murders happened on November 13th, 2022.
I feel like probably like person who was into knowing about those things and also wanted to commit a murder could very logically pick that date and be like, I'm gonna, put my name in history on the same date, make the same date even more whatever,
Did
like
did we lose AR?
Yeah.
AR, if you're still in chat, there's the link for you. But what do you think about what's going on in this case? Is there possibly a correlation to um, November 13th, 1974? Is it a copycat?
Well, I think a
Is this
copycat. I don't think it's a copycat necessarily because it's only 4 people, but because then they could have had the 2 other people if they wanted to really be a copycat. But at the same time, I could totally see in the date being a correlation. I could see somebody really thinking that like this is the reason I'm going to choose this date because why that day? What was it about that day?
yeah. It was the 48th anniversary of the Amityville Horror
Right.
on that day. Could
See?
somebody be like obsessed with the Amityville Horror and decided, hey, I'm going to go out and do this?
Sure. Why not? I mean, yeah, people like that stuff. And like, are people obsessed, crazy, weird about it? Sure. I wouldn't. I mean, people are weird like that, I guess, right? I mean,
Yeah.
if you're going to be a psychopath, maybe you want to study other psychopaths.
Yep. Hey, I'm going to get into a new Chaos Sector video, and I'm going to
Cool.
stop it intermittently and get your take on what we're seeing.
Go ahead.
Okay, I hear AR. Oh no, it's Rock Chalk. Hey there,
Yay!
girly.
Hey, how's everybody doing?
We're doing
Good.
okay. How you doing?
Well, I got a lot of stitches, but I'm alive and well.
Oh, I'm glad you can talk.
Yeah, yeah. I just wanted to stop in
Hey,
and
Randy.
waiting for Rick to come out of the bathroom. Yeah. So my nephew won his game, so they play again Saturday.
Dang.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
Pretty
good.
that's
exciting.
awesome. Basketball season
Hey,
lasts forever.
Yeah,
hey,
it's
bubbly.
actually it's sleeting here.
Oh, yeah.
I'm actually on the Oklahoma border right now, and
Oh
it's
wow.
It's
sleeting,
Sweden?
so that means it's headed to you, Robert.
Oh, yeah.
Oh great.
It's pouring. It's pouring over in Boise, and I was supposed to be driving tomorrow over to Washington, and it's just pouring snow. It's like not. It's not okay to drive. I'm not even gonna
Yeah.
try.
How do we go from 85 to
Right?
15.
37 in a
It
day?
was. It was 60. It was 60 here yesterday.
It was
Hey, Rock.
85
It was
here.
17 yesterday here.
It wasn't 17.
It was at about 8:30 in the morning when I took my daughter
Was
up to
it
the
the day
bus.
before, Jerry, that it was Wednesday? It was 85. Yeah.
Oh wow.
So
Yeah.
Tuesday. I'm losing track of days. I'm telling you. I miss Bonnie. I just wanted to say hi to everybody while I had a minute. Trying to get home. Still got an hour and a half drive.
You
So
liking the show so far at Rock?
you know what? I'd be lying to you other
You,
than what I've got to hear. But yeah, I always love the show. I love me some AR. I always love the group. I always love to chat. And of
Yeah.
course, I always love you, Sophie and Robert,
Love you too.
and like I said,
yeah,
I got all these stitches, and
I don't know what happened to AR. He must have lost connection or something.
possibly, possibly.
I don't think he just dipped out, so that's my guess too.
Oh, he wouldn't have just stepped out. He probably
Yeah.
lost connection, but that's
Yeah.
okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi, Bianca. Yeah, I was just like, I had a minute, so I just wanted to hear everybody's voice and say hi.
Hello.
Well, we
We're
love
just
you, Rock.
Oh,
we're
I
we're
love you guys
chatting.
too.
We're chatting. We're out in the weeds. We're just wandering around,
Well,
chatting about random things.
you know, I love to chat, and you know, Rock don't like quiet. I always got to chat.
Right? You,
So
you fill all the
Hey,
gaps. I appreciate it.
yeah,
yeah, I'm
but I
getting
am
ready
gonna
to play
watch it all
the
when I get home.
yeah, I'm getting ready to play the new Chaos Sector video. It's very interesting. I actually had a chance to watch it and break a few things down. Um,
I
like
love
around
Chaos Sector, by the way.
hmm
Make sure that your mods are putting that in the chat, the link, please.
yes, Mods, once I play the video, will you please put Chaos Sector's link in the chat?
Absolutely.
Around 5:43 a.m. Rock, you could see what looked like the undercover police car driving through the parking lot of the Queen Road Apartments by Linda Lane.
Yeah,
All of
I
a
actually
sudden,
watched that video. Yeah, I think it's been altered.
yeah, because it morphs from the undercover car to the Elantra.
Yeah, I'm telling you, there's just so much. I probably talk funny right now. Sorry, guys. But there's so much to this case. I really want to get more into the party the Friday night because I just want to know where all that DNA is from all them people that was at that party.
Right.
Oh yeah.
It didn't look like they cleaned up the house after that party, and
No.
it just got that dirty again.
Well, they had the beer pong, the solo cups. You
Right.
know, they had dishes. Um, but not only that, all them people. The way I understand it is they have parties there, and you pay like $5 at the door. This is what I've been told, and so you pay to get in to drink type of party. But
Right. You get a
where
cup.
is all that DNA? There's got
Right.
to be a lot of DNA. That's what I really want
All
to get
those cups.
into.
You think they washed the outside of all those cups, all those stacks of beer
Heck no.
cups? Uh-uh.
No. And you heard me say the pizza boxes. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
people got into the pizza boxes. And not only that, what if um they that was a party house. So just because they were out at the corner club, what goes to say that there wasn't people in the house
Right.
that didn't live there? Like
Correct.
I have a lot of questions. We still got a lot of digging. People say that the Idaho 4, there's nothing new. Every time I watch a video with Steven and Christy, I find something new. So I think
Right.
there's a lot more to find new. But anyway,
Right.
I'm gonna let you carry on with your
It's
show.
frustrating that so many people are speculating and
Oh,
sector.
Anyway,
We have been
I'll let you
notified
carry on.
that Get
have a good night, Rock.
You two
a
guys, love you
Clue
guys,
made a
love you chat.
response video.
Love you.
It's good that he was mature enough to admit he was wrong. Unfortunately for Get a Clue,
Artie, you take it easy, Rock. We love you.
though, he's still in hot water. I think the reason he decided to address it is not based on being wrong. I think it's based on the year of the white Hyundai Elantra. What do we mean by that? We have found something a bit revealing in one of Get a Clue's videos. I know I said that was it. We were done. But he has made himself a person of suspicion. In examining the alleged Hyundai Elantra in the Linda Lane surveillance, Get a Clue claims the vehicle was a 2011 to 2013 model. The interesting thing about this is the specific year he claims was the model is the same year Moscow PD had gave. Now, in the audio of this video, examining the vehicle, he claims that an FBI expert identified that specific year of the Hyundai Elantra. But something seems off about this. Did the FBI examine surveillance around November 15th when Moscow PD couldn't identify the very vehicle you claim the FBI eventually identified? Okay, they call in the so-called experts to identify the vehicle. Maybe it was from another camera, an angle. Regardless of what the FBI did, well, not really. But in that scenario, Moscow PD still pretended they didn't have a make and model until December 7th.
Yeah, I really love it when my computer screen goes black during the
Okay,
video.
hold on. I don't want to get too deep into it yet. Let's Get a Clue a chance to explain.
Suspect Vehicle 1 in Moscow in the King Road neighborhood. As you can see here.
Personally, I think Get a Clue is either a cop or FBI. What do you think, Sophie?
Yeah, I've been seeing a lot of people comment that he's a federal agent of some kind, and I don't know. I mean, I guess it's super possible, right? At this point, it's possible. What do you think?
Oh, I think he's an FBI agent. Whoever wants to come up on the panel can come up on the panel. Randy, if you want to come up on the panel for a little bit. Jamie, Micah.
Now let's hear some other people's voices. Do you want me to step down so you can just chat with other people?
No, you're good, Sophie. There's the link. Whoever wants to come up and uh, talk with us for a little while.
Yeah, come on, Randy.
Come on, Randy. There's the link for you.
Yeah, this chaos sector video is weird because I can't tell because we're kind of like, is Get a Clue
Hey,
being
Randy.
honest? Hey, Randy.
How you doing today, Randy?
Hey, hi guys.
Hey.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Cool. Appreciate it. Appreciate
Yeah.
it.
What do you think, Randy?
What? Wait. What were you just? What were we just talking about? It's something. What were we just talking about?
The new chaos sector video.
Where it's possibly edited to go from the undercover cop car to the Elantra.
All right. Look. Here's the thing I don't understand between Get a Clue and Chaos Sector. They've got this. Oh wait a minute. Hold on. I got to turn off. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Are we? Wait. Are we good? Yeah. Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I had the background on. Had to turn that off. All right. Yes. All right. Look, Chaos Sector and Get a Clue.
They have some kind of beef going on.
Yeah, I still got it going on. Hold on. Let me figure this out here, guys.
Fine.
Oh, God. All right. How about now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah.
Okay, we're good. And I don't hear myself 400 times.
All
right. Look, I Chaos Sector and go ahead. Sorry.
No, it's you. Go ahead.
Oh man, I still think it's messed up. Damn it.
You sound fine on my end.
Yeah.
Are you echoing in your own ear?
But I'm still hearing myself on a
Do you have the TV on?
yeah, it's echoing me. Yeah. Damn it. Damn it. All right, hold on.
We love you, Randy.
Everybody does it.
All right. Let's try now. How about now?
How are you now?
Okay. And we have no echo. That's great.
Perfect.
Okay, look, here's the deal to me. Chaos Sector, which I've watched for, I don't know how long, and they're just getting at each other's throats, which I hate, collaborators to do. That are, it just doesn't make sense to me why Get a Clue and Chaos Sector are going at each other when they're both, I think, very good, they're good people. They're good, you know, what's the word I'm looking for? Creators. But it's why do they spend so much time going after each other? It just doesn't make sense. I used to love not Chaos Sector, but what's his name? And Get a Clue. And he just started getting very rude about things, and he's like, judge me, don't do this, don't do that. And then Chaos Sector started going after him. It's like that does not help what we're trying to look for. What we're trying to deal. Don't fight against each other about, oh, this is Elantra, this is a 300, this is the cop car. Why can't we just, get along? Get along. It makes no sense to me. And they're both great creators, but oh man, it's frustrating. So I tend to stay away from that stuff. After I've been following them for I don't know how long, both of them. I thought Get a Clue was great when I first started watching them.
Randy, have you already watched this video? The one we were going to start watching? Did you watch it already?
Which video?
The Chaos Sector video that Robert won.
Oh yeah.
Have you watched? So you stopped following them, but not like you saw this one already.
No, I'll be honest with you. I quit watching Get a Clue because I thought he started getting too rude. But the Chaos Sector, which I loved, and now all of a sudden they're getting rude, and it's a battle between the two of them. And it's like, why? Why not just discuss what's going on?
But hey, we should do that. Let's discuss what's going on because we don't really care about the other channels, but we do want to watch this Chaos Sector video, Robert. It's really interesting because I think that they all I don't pay that much attention to the that many other creators that I want to mention, but this Chaos Sector video, when I saw it, it was pretty weird. It's kind of hard to see stuff on the 21st century level of anything can be manipulated.
I don't understand any of this Little Lane footage. Nothing. I don't know how stupid I am. I mean, I'm a producer. I do video. I do this, and I can't understand any of the Little Lane video. Everybody's saying, "Oh, this is this. This is a car. This is that. This is that," and I don't see any of it. I don't see any of it, and I'm not sure this has anything to do with, what happened. I really don't. I don't believe in the audio that we hear. I don't believe in this is this car, this is that car. I just think people are trying to throw us off or something. It's like I blow off the whole Linda Lane video. Just does not make sense. It just bothers me, but that's me. That's me.
Yeah, that's why we love you, Randy.
Yeah, it's okay, Randy. We appreciate all opinions here. I appreciate everybody's thoughts. I mean, there's so many possibilities of anything. I tend to go with Occam's razor, easy answers, and then maybe it's just BK and they got him already.
542 from the window cameras. You can see where I outlined the bank of windows. I have identified this as suspect vehicle 1. It absolutely is at this time in that back far northeast parking lot.
He's so positive about
himself. Captured right here. And it absolutely is a white Hyundai Elantra between the years 2011 and 2020. Cannot be identified any more specifically than that. However, we know that the FBI expert, and I believe this as well, initially identified this as a 2011 to 2013, and that was from other camera footage. And I submit that other camera footage is probably specifically the 1112 King Road camera. And the reason I say that is I've looked at a screenshot from camera footage from that camera, disseminated by Rathrum. Thank you, Rathrum. And from that screen shot, I can tell you I could make out the identification of the Elantra as to what model year range it is. In other words, I could differentiate 2011 to 2013 from 2014 to 2016. There are distinctive features, two distinctive features, fog light configuration and the bottom bumper reflector configuration, where you can make that determination. I am convinced 100% that is what the FBI expert used to make his identification. And that is why he identified it as a 2011 to 2013. And therefore, I am convinced that initial identification was correct. There's no way that you could see those distinguishing features and specifically identify this as a 2011 to 2013 and then all of a sudden unsee it. and all of a sudden say, no, I didn't see that. I was wrong. Somehow I was wrong.
He's a pro.
Doesn't work that way, folks.
He knows
So-
everything about
Well,
cars.
seems we have a conflict of facts. What do you expect from the FBI? In an article from NBC Philadelphia, it states that the same so-called FBI expert listed a different year range.
So this
Quote,
chaos think
FBI
that
identified
Get
the
a
vehicle
Clue
as
is
a 2011 to 2016
that what
Hyundai
this
Elantra.
is.
Koberger was driving a 2015 white Elantra during traffic stops in August and in October, the affidavit said. Unquote. Now, this isn't the only source of the so-called FBI expert identifying a
It's a
2011
stupid
to
fight.
2016
It's a
Hyundai
stupid
Elantra.
fight.
Get a Clue is claiming
Yes,
the
I know.
so-called FBI expert identified a 2011 to 2013 model. Where did he get that range from? If this was according to the affidavit. Now, I showed an article that proved the so-called FBI gave a year range from 2011 to 2016. Where is the 2011 to 2013 model actually coming from? Because if we go based on this article, the FBI tracked Koberger's vehicle based on the year range, right? So where is that 2011 to 2013 model coming from? Oh, let's see, through the tip line. They received a tip about a 2011 to 2013 white Hyundai Elantra. Keep in mind, this is all rooted in a frame, so please don't fall asleep. On December
what
7th,
blows my
Moscow
mind?
PD released the identity of a make and model.
What blows your mind, Randy?
When Chaos Sector first started, they were really, really good. And now they're at the point where they're like, actually swearing. You're like, what the fuck are you talking about? So on and so forth. You're an ass,
Yeah.
blah, 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 blah. And it's like, wait a minute. Like, I had faith in you, and now you're like using swear words and punching people in the face, so to speak. I just, it's like I want to believe in what they're talking about and stuff, but they're so strong about, and the other thing is, like, they say this is a bunch of people, we've got, all these people working for Chaos Sector, and a lot of people have said, no, it's just one person, with voice changes, that every now and then it's a guy talking, it's a girl talking. But, I got a little frustrated with the fact that they started, saying certain things like fuck off. Excuse me for saying that online, but what the hell's wrong with you and this and that, but then again, when you get a clue, he pissed me off so much. I mean, I unsubscribed from him. I did. It's just like these two are fighting each other for no reason whatsoever. You're not really covering the facts, and it's all about the car. It's all about the Elantra, so on and so forth. There's more to this than just the car. There's more to this than just the car. And frustrates me.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Me. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. It just like with the whole weapon situation. Yeah, either they don't got it, or they got it and they're just not telling us.
Right.
And just like what Steve G said in an interview, the patterns don't match. Yeah,
I think they have it.
The injury patterns don't match.
So I looked at knives today, Robert, and I looked at a bunch of different knives, and then I found out something that I knew kind of, but I hadn't seen before. That they make these things. It's some sort of bolster that you can attach to like any knife, so that if you were to like be using a stabbing action, you wouldn't slide your hand down it. Like you could just have a specialty one made. So I feel like that almost makes it very possible to be like, I doled my, K-bar knife after stabbing somebody 30 something times or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't think.
And so I pulled out like another knife that I had that's not necessarily a K-bar knife, and then I used that, and and I didn't cut myself or whatever with that either, and so I didn't.
I don't think it was just a K-bar knife. There might have been a K-bar knife. Of course, I don't believe that was just Brian Kober. I believe there was more than one person. Maybe he was involved, maybe not. But, you know, if you get the hints from, what, the certain people, whether it's Steve G or Mambit or whatever her name is,
Mhm.
there was more than just a K-bar knife. I mean, I'm thinking axe, machete, something,
That's what I'm
something.
thinking too, Randy.
Yep,
I'm
yep,
thinking
I,
possibly
I think there's,
maybe like a hatchet or an axe or
yep,
a
yep.
machete
I think,
because there was that picture of Dylan holding that machete.
Right, right.
yeah,
Uh,
I
I
didn't,
mean,
where'd you
uh,
see that at? Where, not, I mean, a machete's easy to get. I could go down to the Army Navy thing that's like 2 miles from my house and go buy a machete.
sure, sure, absolutely, absolutely.
I could cut down all the weeds in my backyard with the machete. I mean, not really in reality, but I'm just saying, you know what I mean? Like you could buy a machete for something dumb like that. Like anybody could have one.
Everybody's got all their comments and stuff. The question is, why was this done? Who was
Right. That's
not the perpetrator, but who was the person that was supposed to be attacked and why? Whether it's one person or all of them. And as long as I watch this case, which is since the beginning, I still don't know. What were they going after? Xana? Were they going after Manny or Kaylee? It just doesn't make sense. And I think if the what happened to the bodies? Where were they? We didn't see them being brought out. That flips me out. That flips me out with all the people there with cameras and this and that. You're trying to tell me that nobody got any video of the bodies being brought out of the house. What is up with that? I'm sorry. And then
Yeah.
between the coroner saying it was this, it was that, it just doesn't make sense to me that it was just a K-bar knife. No, I don't think so.
No, I
yeah.
don't think so either. Um,
You both
could
think
it
they
been
were like massacred inside, not just stabbed to death.
now? See, well, just like what the coroner told Steve Gonzalez, they were not punctures; they were more like tears.
Oh
And
gosh.
what kind of knife would tear your skin? Well, you have a you have a hunting knife. You have like the Rambo type knife.
Yeah.
You have it could have been like they could use like the edge of a golf club
You could use a
because there was
cleaver.
Mm.
cleaver.
Who do you think was the target?
Isn't that
Honestly,
that's a grand question.
yeah. Well, honestly, yeah. The targets could have been Xana and Maddie, and Kaylee and Ethan were collateral damage, possibly. Because Ethan didn't live there; he was just staying the night
Right.
there, and Kaylee was actually
Was
staying with her parents. She
Yeah,
just
she
went
was
back for the weekend.
right. She was not supposed to be there.
She's the
Right.
wild
Yeah,
card. I don't think the boyfriend's the wild card. They're like college students. He stayed there every night. He basically lived there.
Who's that? Ethan?
Yeah. I bet he stayed there every night. I bet it would be no surprise he was going to be there.
Oh, with Xana, I would too, but sorry.
but see, like they say that the room that Kaylee had, it was the master bed. It was the master bedroom, so it had a queen size bed,
Right.
and it
Did it
had
have a
that.
bed though? I was wondering if maybe there just wasn't a bed in there because she was moving and she wasn't living there anymore. Like maybe her bed was gone already.
Now, from what I heard is that Ashlyn Couch was going to be the next roommate. So
She was
I
gonna move her mattress.
yeah, so so they would have had to leave the bed in there for Ashlyn. and that was it was a queen size bed, and then you had that exit right there to the to the third floor balcony. I don't understand why Kaylee and Maddie went to sleep in Maddie's room that had no exit and no escape when they could have stayed in that other bedroom that had an actual escape out the sliding glass door onto the third floor balcony.
Because they were drunk 20-something-year-old kids. And they weren't thinking about it because they were drunk 20-something-year-old girls and they didn't even think about it.
Yeah, they were drunk and they were friends, and it's like, yeah, that to me that makes sense that they were together.
Yeah, I get it.
I mean, it's not like they had some kind of thing going, but it's like you're buds, you're
And who
thank
cares?
you for coming up and showing me your car. I really miss you, and God, I can't believe you're leaving and going to Texas or whatever it was. So that makes sense to me.
Sure.
Oh yeah. See, well, what I can't understand is the night of the murders. You have Bethany telling law enforcement that Ethan and Xander was at the Sigma Chi party from 9 p.m. to 1:45 when and this came out before the gag order and everything. It was actually Ethan and Xana at the Sigma Chi party from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. So where's the other 5 hours of time? If they were only there an hour, and they left after 9, where's the other 5 hours of missing time?
Maybe they went and smoked a doob, had sex, and ordered pizza. And they were like just chilling. I mean, they're like 20-something-year-old kids. I can't even fathom what they could have been doing in 5 hours. They could have been doing anything. Or they're not even 21, right? They weren't at the bars. Are they not 21 yet?
Or they were 20. They were 20.
Yeah. So they couldn't go to bars. So they're like out partying, like with 10,000 other people that night. I can't get over how many people are really partying right there. Like every single fraternity house is probably packed to the gills full of drunk people.
I don't think they have any idea where these girls and Ethan were, within 2 or 3 hours. I really don't think they have any idea. We're going to assume, they were at the party at, whatever, Sigma Chi or whatever it's called. And, the girls came home. Why isn't there any information about who brought Kaylee and Maddie home in a car, whether it was an Uber driver or whatever?
Why don't we have that on camera? Why don't we have that video from Linda Lane?
Well, we probably do if that 11:20 or that that one place that had the camera out in front, the
across the street, yeah,
could show anybody coming in or out something. I mean, nobody's showing any of that stuff. We have a single picture. Oh, look,
Yeah,
that means nothing. That means nothing. So frustrating. So frustrating.
Yeah, I know it's frustrating, Randy. Yeah, it's frustrating to me too. Now, did you watch the court hearing yesterday?
Yes. Talk about frustrating.
Oh yeah, talk about frustrating.
yeah.
You have who I call the Santa on crack, Bill Thompson.
Santa Claus.
He is dead set on that trial not being moved out of Latah County,
right?
Because he feels that he could get jurors that have no access to media or internet. Yet supposedly he wants to bring his ideal juror is a farmer with 1,000 acres who don't have cable TV, who don't have this, who don't have that. Well, personally, farmers do have access to cable TV. They do have access to technology. Yeah, and most farmers, correct me if I'm wrong, Randy, most farmers they want to see something, they want to touch something, they want to They want to hear a dog bark. They want to hear the creak of the floor. They want to feel a draft in the house. They want to look in the window where the perp looked in. They're not going to want to look at that through a 3D render. Am I right or am I wrong, Randy?
Yes, I believe you. Totally correct. I agree with you 100%. I don't. That whole thing yesterday, it just, Santa Claus. I call him Santa Claus. And Ann Taylor's trying to, she's trying her best and this and that. And this case is it's going to go on and on and on. I mean, why? Why? Hand over the information, you know, state, hand over the information to the defense. Let's get this thing going. And God, quit quit dicking around with your excuses and oh well we got 95% of the stuff is there. Maybe the FBI is going to show us this stuff tomorrow. Oh, we just got the x-rays. It's just it's crazy. There's a reason this thing is being put off and put off and put off, and I don't know what it is, but something is going on that is not right, in my opinion only. Something's going on that's not right with this case, and it makes me feel more and more like they're trying to set Brian Koberger up. That's me.
And
That's my opinion.
I feel the same way, Randy. What do you feel, Sophie?
I kind of feel like they're setting him up to have a whole lot of friggin' sympathy. Like it when I watch Anne trying to ask for stuff, it's almost like I feel bad. Is it because she's a woman? I'm not going to point that out, but like they basically are like, yeah, whatever. I mean, they clearly haven't given her the evidence in like a comprehensive way. I think it's ridiculous. I think if like AR was saying earlier, if the FBI are the people collecting all this stuff and it's not comprehensive, it doesn't make any sense to me. There's got to be another reason. There has to be a bigger reason why it would be so complicated. Yes, it's a murder. Yes, it's 4 murders. This is very complicated. I get it, but why is it this complicated? If the FBI is supposed to be taking care of it, it shouldn't be this complicated. It's weird.
Problem is the FBI is in charge of this case.
Right.
Whether you think or not that Lake County is doing no, the FBI is in charge of this case. I know that for a fact because I have a nephew that works for the FBI. He's got a great friend that works for the FBI that's with the telephone shit, the cast or whatever it is,
Yeah.
and they're putting this off. They're putting this off, and it's just it's frustrating. It's not fair to Brian, whether he's guilty or not. Whether he's guilty or not, it's not fair to sit around and let this man sit in jail. They have enough information, and the fact that the state's not giving the information that they've asked for months, the IGG or whatever it is, and all the other information, oh, we're going to get it to you. Why is this being put off? Why wouldn't the state want to, if they really feel he's guilty, why wouldn't they want to get it over with? Prove he's guilty. But it's not. It's all bullshit back and forth between the defense and the state, and it's just so frustrating how they fight each other. Yesterday's man, I can't tell you how frustrated I got watching yesterday's hearings, and the judge don't even ask me about him. I have no idea. He seems like not even give a shit. He doesn't seem serious about trying to get this case settled or trying to move on. His smirks, his I'm laying back, and if you watch the body image, or whatever I'm trying to say. The body language of him, and body language of Santa Claus. It just seems wrong. Something is wrong with this case, and they're all fighting to get their own stupidity in or something.
What do you think,
Yeah.
Robert?
Well, I mean, I basically agree with what Randy has said. I mean, you have Ann Taylor who's standing up there wanting this, wanting that, and then you have the prosecution. Yeah. Oh well, we don't have all that yet.
Right.
And then May 14th, you have the hearing for the change of venue. And you have Thompson. Oh, we don't need to change the venue. We don't need to change the venue. I think if they do the change of venue, I think they're going to move it to Boise, where the Chad Daybell case was.
Well, yeah, because we have a big, huge courthouse.
What do you think about change of venue?
I think it's crazy that she filed something above judge, like she filed something without his consent or whatever, to get it moved up to to get it moved out of his court, basically, because it's ridiculous. Because I don't think he's taking it seriously. Like he said something today or yesterday that was like something about oh, I don't remember. He said something talking about the dates,
Supreme Court.
or already had his plan, or like he didn't have. I don't. Just the way he was. Oh no, he said he had other cases in case you didn't know. I think is what he said. I do have cases in case you didn't know. But it was kind of audacious. Like, okay, yeah, we know you're a judge.
Yeah, that was an asshole comment.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and I don't think he liked it too well when she was tossing the idea around about taking the case up to the Supreme Court of Idaho.
right.
Yep.
Right.
I think it should go. I think they should take it to the Supreme Court. I'm sorry, but which makes me think like I'm backing Brian Koberger up, but I don't think he's getting a fair deal. I don't think, ever since he said, was there anybody else,
Right.
whatever, was there anybody else arrested?
Yeah. Yeah.
Ever since then, I have thought that, I can't believe this guy is totally by himself,
Yeah.
But, maybe he was involved. Maybe he was involved and, go to jail for that or whatever. But the fact that he did it alone in their supposed timeline, it makes no sense. Come on. There's got to be more to it. There's got to be more to it.
Yeah, I don't believe that stinking timeline.
No, not at all.
Hey, Sipa, how you doing?
It's impossible, right? Or maybe not. Maybe he turned into a hurricane. Whoever said that in chat a couple days ago.
Yeah, I don't believe the whole stinking timeline. In my opinion, Dylan and Bethany are uncredible witnesses because, I mean, you have Dylan's statement, yes, in the probable cause affidavit, but Bethany is not even mentioned. The only time she is mentioned is for the download of the data off of her and Dylan's phones to set up that 4 a.m. timeline.
Right.
You don't hear anything else from her after that, and then she just hauls ass to freaking Reno, Nevada.
She's the key to this case. I really believe she is the key to this case.
Right? One of them or both of them or something. I feel like that whole those two get over real fast.
I think Dylan's involved. I think she is. Or she know or whatever. But
yeah, because she came out of that room 3 times that night, and one of the times it was to yell, "Shut the fuck up! I'm trying to sleep."
But who said that? Her?
Yeah.
Where did she actually say that? Because I mean, I remember her saying, I saw a guy with bushy eyebrows, dressed in black, and clad. Excuse me, clad in black. But
I think those are the only two statements we have from her that are like actually verified somehow.
right,
The clad in black and the
bushy eyebrows.
bushy eyebrows.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she came out of that. She opened that door that
Oh
night
yeah,
three separate times.
right.
Supposedly. But where did that come
Yes,
from? Did she say that, or did the cops say that, or what?
the cops said that in the PCA that Miss Mortensen opened her door that night 3 separate times.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like
So,
actual things with receipts.
so she told that to the cops, supposedly.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh God. I can't. You know what? I want to be there. I want to like turn into this like ghost and be there and see what happens. It drives me crazy. This case drives me crazy. Crazy.
Yeah,
It's
and
definitely
have you seen the way Brian interacts with the cops? He's always laughing and joking. He's not in shackles or handcuffs. He's always dressed in a
Right.
nice suit. And
Right.
I know that drives Christy and Steve Gonzalez crazy. It drives them up the wall.
Well,
probably.
do you think Steve thinks he's the killer? I know Christy does. But do you think Steve does?
I think Steve thinks that there's somebody else also, which I do too.
Yeah. Oh,
Okay,
no
here's
way
what
it's one.
MCOS said.
No
It's
way
in the
it's one person.
PCA. MCOS says it's in the PCA. She told them to be quiet.
Right.
Right.
But see what I don't understand out of this whole entire freaking jumble of a fucking dumpster fire of a freaking mess. If she's yelling, shut your fucking mouth. I'm trying to sleep. And yeah, from what I heard according to the former roommates, which were all males, they said even with the good vibes light on, it was hard to see down the down the hallways and stuff. Yeah, how was she going to see somebody clad in black with bushy eyebrows? It was dark as fuck in there.
Right.
I imagine you could see a shadow of a person walking, but I can't imagine you could see their eyebrows somehow unless they were like distinctly a different color than their, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know how you
Yeah,
would
right.
see, I don't know how you specifically see eyebrows. And it
Totally
sounded like it's a medical mask, right? Is that what we came to? It's not a full head
Yeah.
mask.
Yeah, I don't know if it was a medical mask or COVID mask, but it was a mask that
Yeah.
that covered the bottom part of his face.
Right.
If he's gonna murder some poor people, why not wear a whole fucking mask? You know, the pullover kind of has a little eyes and the mouth.
Right.
So
Right.
so somebody
Maybe
don't.
he had that one on upstairs and he took it off because it was covered in blood. I still think I was thinking today that maybe what if somebody was there with like a bag of all the crap? Like one person like helped them get all their crap off so they didn't get anything in the car.
I mean, you never know.
What if there was a bag of all their junk and then clothes to change into?
Oh God. No.
What?
I just don't see it. I don't see one guy doing this. I
Yeah, that's
just
what I
don't
mean.
see it.
Couldn't you see like 2 or 3 people being there?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, well, just like Steve said in that one interview, when they were standing out front of the police station, he didn't have to go upstairs.
Go upstairs. Yeah. That's probably the biggest comment in this case that says a lot, because they're trying to say, okay, Maddie was the target. No, Kaylee was the target. No, Xan and Ethan were the target. No, they went upstairs first. No, they went downstairs and killed Ethan first, and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
But that comment from Steve Gonzalez saying they didn't have to go upstairs, I think is probably the biggest comment that's been made to make you think about what this is really about. Xana's mother, who's the drug addict, Ethan,
Yes.
who had this problem with Roach, the fight or whatever it was.
Yeah.
It seems to me that it started downstairs first. There was something that was going on downstairs first. Why they went upstairs, like Steve said, they didn't have to go upstairs. So what does that say to me? All right, maybe Maddie and Kaylee heard what was going on, got up and said, "What the fuck's going on? They're down there killing people." They had to go up and kill them to cover their ass. That's the way I see it. That's the way I see it. I really think that Xana and
Ethan?
or Ethan were the targets. That's what I think. And
Now,
Xana, with her mother being the drug addict, and the whole thing about we had the question about, did this have anything to do with drugs? And supposedly Maddie thrown, $200,000 worth of drugs down the toilet or whatever it was, I think it started with Xana and Ethan, and maybe even Ethan, with the fight that he had with Roach. It could have
Fallon just made a
started
good,
there.
Fallon made a good statement. E's mom said 2 a.m. is dark time for family, so she must know 2 a.m. time of Ethan's unaliving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, this shit didn't happen at 4 o'clock. That's bullshit.
No.
The cops' timeline is so off. That's not even right.
Yes, and Eric just said Maddie's mom had a drug arrest also.
That's right.
Yes, Maddie's stepmom, Corey Hatrock, was arrested for drugs.
You're absolutely right.
4 days before the murder.
And AR was saying not just like drugs. They didn't get arrested because they had some drugs on them. They got arrested because they were distributing drugs.
Oh, they had it on them? I didn't know that.
No, I didn't say they didn't have the. That's not why they got arrested. They got arrested for like a much bigger crime than just having drugs on them. They got arrested for
distribution.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's a whole nother level of being in the drug business.
Yeah. It's not like I sold you a little bag of this or that, but
right. Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
Listen, Linda says, hopefully there was a camera on the house the whole night showing all activity from 2 to 11 a.m. Where the lights on after 4, see the movement of people, see cars, trucks pulling up and or leaving. And of course there was Mr. Enon Harsh stating that he saw a very nice looking SUV,
right?
In the way he put it, with chromed out rims, and somebody running and diving into the back of the SUV.
All right. Can I ask you guys a question?
Yeah.
Do you really think Enon Harsh has anything to do with this?
Yes.
You do? Sophie does. All right.
Yes. I can't get over the coincidences. I just can't. He lives too close. His window's like a sweet ass girl. He's super whatever it is. Not just super sus, but he seems to me from where I come from, he seems to me like a dude who is totally like plays computer games and doesn't really know how to mingle.
But I'm talking about, do you think he had anything to do with the murders?
Yeah, I do. At the very least, something.
Yeah, he could have been the person on the second floor.
Yeah.
He could have been in the house before any of them got home. He knew he could have seen directly in there. I was watching one of those things thinking like, why hasn't, when in his interview he talks about taking wine over there, whatever, and he brings up Ethan and Xana, and he brings up Maddie and Bethany. I think he brings up at least Maddie, or he doesn't bring up Bethany. But that's what I mean. He doesn't bring up Bethany or Dylan. He doesn't bring up the two. The only people he claims to have met over there are all gone. They can't verify that he met them. But the other two people he didn't claim to know at all. He didn't bring their names up.
Sophie, what would be his reason? I mean, if you believe this, what reason does he have to go and kill these people or be part of a group?
Incel, anger.
No, I don't believe that from him. Dude's a good-looking guy.
I don't think so. No, he's weird. He's awkward, and he loves the drugs.
Dude, he's a chef. He flips fire. He does. I don't see him being an incel. Don't see him being.
Well, he did make the comment, Randy, that he went to bed about between 2:30 and 4 that night, but he really didn't pay attention to the time because he's not observant of the time.
Right. Okay. But still, and he did have the information. It's like, oh, I had the information such time before the cops came, and he told the cops that.
Yeah.
But
inserted himself right into
the information wasn't out yet.
Right.
So yeah, he's definitely sus. He's definitely sus.
Now, did you know back in 2012 that he was arrested for beating his mother up?
Ooh, I did not know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally different crime than just getting caught with a bunch of drugs that he got. The other reason he got arrested.
Ooh, maybe I should get off panel. I'm not up to date.
Yeah, the guy's super sus. He is legitimately suspect. Like it's not like we're not just shit talking the poor fella.
He beat up his mother?
Yeah.
Yes, in 2012.
Holy shit. What a dick.
Right.
Yeah, because we'll see how it happened, Randy. His mother works from home. So so she does computer work all day from home. And he was visiting her at the time. And he kept bugging her about something. And she kept telling him to leave her alone. She was busy. She was busy at work. She got up to go get something, and he sat down in her chair and refused to move. And when she came back, she told him to move. He said no, he wasn't going to move. And then she gently grabbed him by the arm, and then made him move out of her seat. Well, when she sat down, he beat the fuck out of her.
What the? Man. All right. Now, I'm sorry. Now eating a horse is on my fucking list. I'm sorry. That's crazy.
Right?
Beat his mother? Beat his mother?
Yeah, right. He hit his mom. He hit his own mom.
Don't hit your mom. Do not hit your mom. Jeez. All right. Okay. Well,
Yeah, he's been living in that apartment, the Queen Road apartments. He's been living in that apartment since 2012.
Yeah, but he moved.
Because the date of his arrest was 2012, and the address where they arrested him at was that apartment.
Right. And that was for drugs?
No, for beating up his mom.
For beating up his mom.
Yeah, he beat up his mom. He fled back to his apartment, and the cops arrested him at his apartment.
Jeez.
From his timeline, it sounded like he lived in those apartments when he got caught with the drugs. Also,
man, this case is crazy.
Right? Yes.
Hey, I have a question for you guys.
Yeah,
ask it.
Do you not throw me off the panel if I run upstairs and get a cigarette?
No,
Are you going to
no.
smoke it while you're on the panel? Because you can do that. But if you're going to go smoke it and take a break, we could talk to somebody else. But are you going to smoke it while you're on the panel with us?
Oh yeah, I
Oh,
mean,
yeah. Totally go get a smoke.
if you don't mind. I mean, I'm not gonna blow in your face, Sophie. So
There. Like, I'm like, are you going to take a full on smoke break, bro? Okay, no.
no. I just want to go
I'm
up
not,
and grab a cigarette and stuff because I came down. I had no idea I'd be on a panel. I just came down to see, True
Go
Crime.
grab,
So, give me 2 minutes.
go grab a
I'll
stove.
still be here. All right.
all right.
Thank you. All right.
Robert, you're going to have a smoke too, huh?
All right.
I'm already smoking.
Yeah, see, exactly. That's why I was like, come on, you don't take a smoke break. Everybody's smoking over here.
Yeah, I'm not just taking a smoke break. Look, I'm on fire.
Are you on the screen? You're funny.
Yeah, that's one of my new backgrounds.
I like it.
But no, here in about 8 minutes, I'm going to be wrapping this up. So
Yeah, I think so. I haven't hardly had a chance to look in chat tonight. We've had so many different discussions.
yeah, and it was good discussions too. Chat, how did you like our discussions tonight? How did you like our live show tonight? Give me a 1 for awesome, give me a 2 for amazing, and give me a 3 for a hell yeah.
Oh yeah. Like, what'd you all do on Thursday? No crickets.
Got a 1.
They're going to grab a smoke too. Everybody's grabbing a smoke.
We got 1 1. We got 2 3.
Oh, there you go.
We got a 1. We got a 1 2 3.
Happy Face is messing with us.
We got another 3.
I like it. Oh, hi, all you people. Hello. We didn't get too far out in the weeds. Sometimes we just start talking and we wrap back around to all sorts of crazy things. Hi, Eric.
Eric says hi, Sophie.
I see that. I saw him in chat earlier and I started to type something and then I realized I needed to be listening.
We got it. So we got what 4 3s, 3 1s. MCOS just gave us a 1. Oh, and our good buddy, our good brother AR lost internet connection and he's trying to get it back.
Oh. Yeah, see, I knew. He said something right before he dropped out. Like something happened and he said something and then a few minutes or seconds later he dropped out. So I think he knew that something was happening.
Yeah.
I'm back.
Hello, Mr. Randy. Here in about 8 minutes, we're going to wrap up. We're going to wrap up live, and you are more than welcome to come back the next time we're live. And I believe we're going to be live again. What, Saturday night, Miss Sophie?
Maybe we'll see. I'm going to try.
I can't tell you how much I appreciate you let me up on panel. I really appreciate that. I mean,
it was nice to hear your voice.
I'm on for a couple other channels, and I really listen, and it's back and forth. But to come up on panel and talk to people who kind of pretty much know what they're talking about and taught me some stuff tonight, I can't tell you how much I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for coming up with us. That was fun.
And if you want to stick around after the live, Randy, once the stream ends, we can chat for a little bit backstage.
Cool. I just got a cigarette and a drink, so I'm good to go. Wife's in bed. I went upstairs. She's like, she went to bed. So.
What do you think, Robert? What's your wrap up for tonight?
I think my wrap up is going to be my new outro.
Oh.
Ooh.
Oh, so we should still keep chatting for like 5 more minutes? We could fit 5 more minutes of things in.
Yeah.
What about you, Randy? What else did you think? Like before you came up on panel, what were you thinking? What sort of things did you not get to say today that you're going to tell us next time? But get us prepared.
Well, there's a lot of stuff I would like to talk about. A lot of stuff, you know. I just love talking to people that have an open mind, and it's like I said, you know, like Eden beating his mom. That's something new I learned. You know, I've been following this case since day one. I got very involved in true
Thank you,
crime
Michael.
when, you know, the Gabby Petito case was my thing that got me going. And
wasn't her friend so sus? The most sus person ever.
Don't even get me started.
Yeah.
I heard they had a the final thing between the Laundries and you know, the people was finally set today or yesterday in court. You know, there was a decision made.
Yeah, they settled out of court.
Yeah, but we didn't hear any price or anything, kind of thing. But
aren't all dollar amounts just kind of goofy? Like nothing's going to resolve either of the things that happen.
Right. You guys are great.
Here goes the outro, and we're going to talk after the stream ends.
Should I stay here?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Later, guys. Have a good night.
I don't know if this chat is right. Bonnie M. Oh, great fun. Sophie M. Thank you. This chat just looks very different than